I spent the day with Serena.
I'll bet you did.
And we went to the Hollywood, or not the Hollywood, but the Universal Rock Walk, and we went up and had some lunch.
Is that what she calls her bedroom? The Universal Rock Walk?
Don't be crass.
Well, that means something happened. You're already in defensive mode where I'm playing around. That's not good.
Yeah. No, Serena's been a big supporter of the show for 10 years now, so there's no reason to be crass about her lifestyle.
There is no doubt in my mind, A, that you fucked her, and B, that I love her. It's awesome.
So we went to the Universal Studios Rock Walk and had some lunch.
Okay.
At a Mexican restaurant.
All right.
And while I was there, stupid me, I'm thinking about your friend John.
Jesus, dude. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, and I'll tell you the reason why.
All right, go ahead.
As you know, Universal Studios is where they film a good majority of a lot of, movies, popular movies.
Okay.
So in this rock walk, they have this Jedi fighter.
Okay.
Crashed into one of the buildings. It looked like one just crashed nose first into a building.
Okay.
So here it is. It's like 30 feet above our head. It looks like it crashed into the side of the building.
Okay.
So I took a picture of it.
All right.
And I texted over to your friend John, and I said, looks like you lost one of your starfighters. I said, you better call Starfleet Command or whoever the fuck to come get this thing, because the guy here has called the police and a tow truck.
Nice.
So right away he texts me back, fuck Starfleet Command, I'm part of the Red Army something or other. I don't even know what.
He went complete geek on you.
He did. And I said, well, the guy is about ready to hook up and tow this thing away. And he says, well, the thing you don't understand is that we have gravity-defying technology or something. Some bullshit thing like that,
And did you send back just a one-word text that said, faggot?
I didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah, you just got to answer John with, you're a fag. Shut up.
So we were walking through this rock walk, and they have a Hard Rock Cafe.
All right.
And it's got the giant Eddie Van Halen Frankenstein guitar there.
Okay.
So I took a picture of the thing, and I know what a big Van Halen fan John is. Again, thinking of John. And so I sent him the Van Halen guitar. I said, now that's a big Frankenstein guitar.
Yeah. So
he sends me back, you son of a bitch, I've always wanted to see that. God damn it. So I was fucking around with your friend John while I'm out there.
Meanwhile, you have this incredibly hot chick with you showing you around, and you're too busy thinking about fucking stupid John.
Yeah. That's why I said stupid me.
Believe me, I wouldn't even remember I had any friends if Serena was taking me.
Sure.
Fuck that.
So anyway, we traveled, walked around. Now Serena, she's into horses.
All right.
She has a horse, and she likes the whole cowboy thing and whatever.
Did you ride her horse?
Well, I think since she's the rider, I think it would work the other way around.
Well, you might have ridden her horse.
Yes. No, I did not see her horse. I did see her cat, though.
Did you saddle it up, maybe? Did you at least mount the horse?
Well, we went to a place called Saddle Ranch.
All right.
Which is a bar and grill type thing.
That's not what she calls her bedroom?
Saddle Ranch?
Saddle Ranch?
Yeah. So we went to this restaurant, bar, grill type place called Saddle Ranch.
All right.
So we're sitting up at the bar having a drink.
Okay.
Now, you know how tiny Serena is.
Yes, I remember. But how's she looking? By the way, you you're not going to indulge the dirty questions, and I get that. But you got to give some description here because the other people don't know.
Well, Serena is very tiny. She's a very petite, very tiny little gal.
She's what, 5'1", maybe?
About 5 foot, 5'1".
Yeah, she's a little girl.
She's a little girl. Long hair down to her ass crack.
Still blonde?
Still blonde.
How exactly did you measure that? With or without clothes?
She's just got very, very long hair all the way down to her ass crack.
All right.
Just teeny. She's just a teeny little girl.
Mm-hmm.
So she's into the whole Western thing. She likes the horses. Of course, she's a real metal chick, but she likes the horses and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So up at Universal Studios, they have a restaurant bar up there called Saddle Ranch.
All right.
So we went in. I said, let's have a drink. Now, the entire time that I was with Serena, because she went with us, she went with me to the Inside Metal screening.
Okay.
The whole time I was with her, she didn't have 3 drinks the whole weekend.
Okay, wow.
One drink knocks her on her ass, more or less.
Really?
Because she doesn't drink.
Okay.
So we went in there, and I said, let's go up to the bar. Let's have a drink. Because it was pretty hot that day. It was like in the 90s.
Right.
And so we're sitting up at the bar and just kind of shooting the shit and just having some fun. And there's a dude sitting next to me to the right of me.
Okay.
And we're just talking amongst ourselves and talking about music and metal and looking at YouTube videos and this and that.
Okay.
And this guy says to me, he says, hey, you know who you look like? And I said, who do you think I look like? He says, you look just like Jeff Martin.
Jeff Martin?
Jeff Martin.
All right.
Racer X drummer.
Sure.
You know. And I said, oh, yeah. He says, yeah. He says, I hope you don't mind. I took a picture of you and posted it on Facebook.
What, do you want an autograph?
Well, wait a minute. It's getting there. So he goes, you are somebody famous, aren't you?
Yes.
And I said, well, I don't know how famous I am, but I do a radio show, and I told him about the classic metal show. Because I knew it. You had to be somebody.
Oh, wow.
And I said, but I do know Jeff Martin.
Okay, wow.
And he says, well, I sent your picture to his daughter.
Okay.
And I said, here's your dad's lookalike, only he's much better looking. Just like, all right, dude, whatever.
Wow.
He's just like, can I get a picture with you?
Jeez.
So of course I had to take a picture with the guy, you know.
Right.
He goes, I'm going to check out your show, man. It's really cool meeting you. This was really badass.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, all right, dude.
So is he listening right now?
I have no idea.
I know he's not.
So it's just like, seriously, come on.
Well, that's quite a celebrity look-alike. Most of the time it's Dog the Bounty Hunter. Or
Well,
whatever.
wait a minute. There is a Dog the Bounty Hunter story. There is one of those.
See, maybe we should have coordinated this. I haven't talked to you all week, really.
No, you haven't, but there is a Dog the Bounty Hunter story.
All right.
So we leave the Universal Rock Walk and we go down to Hollywood Boulevard.
Okay.
And there's a few shops down there I like to go to. There's some rock and roll shops. I bought a couple new shirts and stuff.
Okay.
And we're just down there just kind of walking around, checking things out, whatnot, before the Armored Saint Metal Church show.
Right.
And so we went to the shop and, you know, we're walking around and then we headed down to Sunset Boulevard, which is basically one block south, and then headed out west, which is where the Whiskey and the Roxy and the Rainbow and all that is.
Okay.
And we were calling Bob Nalbandian, and we're just like, hey, dude, we're heading out to the Whiskey. You know, let's hook up.
Right.
And Bob's like, yeah, you know, I'm down here in Huntington Beach. I'm at my mom's house. You know, I'll head up there in about an hour. Where are you guys going to be? It's like, well, we're right outside the Rainbow. You know, we're going to wait on you.
Right.
Well, then he gets back with us not a little bit later. Hey, you know what? I'm pretty beat. I'm tired. I can't make it. I just not going to come out.
What the hell?
You know, I was just like, dude, come on, man. He's like, yeah, you know, it's just been a really tough last 3 days. I'm just whipped. Can't come out.
Yeah, it's like, hey, cocksucker, I flew across the country to see you.
So we're just like, he goes, you guys going to the show? It's like, yeah, absolutely, dude. We're, you know, how could you pass up Metal Church and Armored Saint?
Well, you know, he's tired.
Together on one bill? Are you
tired?
Are you kidding me?
Dude, he's tired. It's been a busy 3 days.
Sure.
And he's got friends visiting from, you know, halfway across the country, and it's Metal Church and Armored Saint. That happens all the time, too.
Sure.
I can see why he just said, not tonight. Maybe next time it all happens like that.
Right.
The hell is wrong with him?
Yeah. Well, he was tired.
Oh, what a bitch.
So we were in the car, obviously, listening to you and Rob doing your thing and listen to your interview with Tim Narducci. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, from Spiral Arms.
Yeah, so we were just sitting there because it was still early. It wasn't, you know, we didn't want to sit through 2 or 3 opening bands. So we just kind of listened to the show and hung out in the car. And, you know, I called in, obviously.
Sure.
And so, you know, it just got to the point to where it's time to head in for the show.
Right.
Now, we were told that the show was sold out.
Okay.
We were told it was sold out like a month in advance.
All right.
And, you know, because Bob is so tight with John Bush and Armored Saint, we were kind of counting on Bob to kind of get us hooked up.
Right, sure.
So we decided, well, you know, we're going to get into the show regardless.
Sure.
And so we walked down to the Whiskey. Mm-hmm. And who should be standing out on the sidewalk?
Who? John Bush?
No, well, no. Kurt Vanderhoof and Mike Howe.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So, no, Norge, I didn't get any purple pussy. Please. So we walked down, and I walked up to Kurt, you know, and I shook his hand and, you know, told him, oh, yeah, dude, how you doing? Long time no see. How's it going? You know.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, you know, I came all the way out from Chicago. Don't have tickets for the show. I really wanted to see it. Oh, dude, you got to be fucking kidding me. This is ridiculous. I'm going to get you in. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Just like that, right?
Sure.
So then Mike Howe comes up.
Yeah.
And he starts bitching right away, not to me, but talking to Kurt. And he says, you know what, these guys are giving me shit about my pocket knife. And he pulls out this knife, you know, he has it in his pocket, right? Mm-hmm. And he goes, they won't, they want me to get rid of this knife, the security and the whiskey.
All right.
You know, so they're obviously searching the talent.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And he says, you know, what am I going to do with it? And Kurt's like, yeah, you know, go take it to the van or whatever. And then their tour manager came out and he said, yeah, just give it to me. I'll take it to the van. We'll put it in, in the car.
Okay.
So I walked up to Mike, and I'd never met him before. And obviously he was on our show a few weeks back.
Sure.
And I told him, you know, I introduced myself. Oh, yeah, I remember being on the show. Cool, dude. Nice to meet you and everything, you know. And I said, yeah, he says, so you came out here for the show? I said, yeah, you know, I want to check out the show. I don't have any tickets, though. And I was told it's sold out. You know, these guys are being fucking assholes about everything. And they're being really tight about the guest list. And, you know, they're giving me shit about this pocket knife. And, you know, just going on and on and on. And he says, but I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to try to get you in. Don't worry about it.
All right.
You know? So he said, just come with me. So we walked up to the front, you know, and he said, I'll see what I can do. I'll be right back. So we were kind of standing there in the front of the Whiskey, and we're just kind of hanging out. And I see, you know, they're frisking everybody, patting everybody down, you know, just, it's like a security checkpoint at the airport, you know?
Sure.
Giving everybody the metal detector and the whole thing. God. You know, it's pretty brutal to get in this place, right?
Yes. Wow.
Well, while I'm standing there, these people walk up to the ticket window and said, 2 for tonight, please. And the girl just sells them 2 tickets. And I was just like, okay. So I walked over to the ticket lady and I said, hey, are there tickets? Yeah. How many do you need? I said, I'll take 2.
Nice.
So I just went ahead and bought them, you know, because I didn't want to put these guys out. It's not like it's not their responsibility to see that I get in, right?
Yeah, and it's not like they're docking where you hang with them all the
Yeah,
time.
exactly. So I went ahead and bought 2 tickets, and Serena and I went into the club.
All right.
So the place wasn't even it probably, I'm going to say it was maybe 20% full at this point.
Okay.
Now, this is a small room. I think it only holds like 350 people total.
Right.
It's probably like about the size of Billy's old club.
Okay.
The Foundry.
Yeah, okay.
It's about that big. It's not big at all.
All right.
And it has an upstairs and downstairs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we walk in. Serena's like, I'm not drinking, but I'll buy you a drink.
All right.
So she bought me a drink, and we're kind of hanging out there. And I said, you know what? Let's go upstairs. So we went up to the balcony area, and we went up and found a nice open spot because she's so small. Mm-hmm. She wouldn't be able to see over the crowd.
Right. Sure.
So I found her a spot in front of the railing.
Okay.
To where nobody could stand in front of her and she could see the whole show.
All right.
So while I'm sitting there, guess who comes walking by from Metal Church?
Caffrey.
No, Caffrey wasn't with them.
Oh, he wasn't with them?
Yeah, Van Zandt is back with them.
Well, you named the 2 that are main players. Jeff Plate, is he still in the band?
He's with them. He came by, but the guy who recognized me was Steve Unger.
Oh, nice.
He's like, dude. He goes, how you doing, man? It's just like real good, He's just like, wow, what are you doing out here? And so I told him I was out for the Inside Metal thing and whatever. And I said, yeah, I wouldn't miss this show for the world.
Right, sure.
So he kept stopping by and chit-chatting with me for a few minutes. Well, then Kurt came by, and he's just like, oh, you got in, dude. Great. Glad everything worked out,
Right.
And then Mike Howe comes by, and he just puts his arm around me. He says, I'm glad to see you got in. It's cool. Thanks. He goes, I really tried hard to do something for you. And he says, I came out, and you were gone, and now I'm glad to see you're in, and,
Nice.
all that kind of stuff. So the Metal Church guys, just super nice.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Super nice. So anyway, fast forward, Metal Church opens up the show.
Right.
I sent you a video.
Yeah, it sounded great.
I cannot say enough good things about Metal Church.
Yeah, they sound really good.
Mike Howe just killed it.
Right.
His voice is just absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
So if you have an opportunity, if you're a fan of Metal Church and they're coming through on this current tour,
right,
don't miss the show. Holy cow, were they great.
Really?
They were fantastic.
So were they better than Armored Saint?
No, they were about equal because Armored Saint's been touring around, obviously for the last few years.
Yeah, so they're road worn. They're road ready.
But Mike Howe rejoining the ranks after 20 years away,
right,
and reclaiming that, unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Unbelievable. I mean, he hit the high notes and he was just ripping it up on stage, and the band was solid, and it was just really, if you get an opportunity to see those guys, go see them. So worth it.
Top 10 shows you've ever seen?
It was right up there. I'm telling you, having both Armored Saint and Metal Church on the same bill.
Right, because that's 2 of your big time favorites.
That was two of my top 5.
Right.
All in one night.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff.
Yeah. So they just slayed. And you know what was going through my mind while I was watching the show?
What? John?
No. the segment we did the week before where JJ French was saying that it's stupid for veteran bands to play new music.
Right, sure.
They played about 4 songs from the new 11 disc.
Okay.
And it just blended in so well with the classics.
See, that's cool.
And it didn't bother me at all that they played some of the new stuff.
Right.
And even Mike Howe was just like, we got a new record out. Who's got it out there? And people were, clapping and hooting and hollering. And he goes, I'm going to play a new one here, and he they played a couple of the songs, and people dug it. They seemed to be into it, Well,
that's good.
So in that setting, that seemed to work out very well. I didn't see anybody get silent or just like, oh, what is this?
Right.
They were into it. They were pumping their fist, and everybody seemed to really dig it.
Well, JJ just needs to remember that the last time he put out new music, it was so bad that people didn't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to hear songs from Love is for Suckers.
Sure.
But certainly people want to hear new Metal Church because Metal Church still kicks ass.
Oh my God, dude! They are a revitalized band. Now, no disrespect to Ronnie Monroe, but Jesus Christ, Mike Howe, holy shit!
Yeah, and we love Ronnie.
Yeah, but that was awesome. And then, of course, Armored Saint took the stage,
right?
Tore it up.
Yeah, they're great.
Those guys, it's just amazing the fire that those guys still have.
I know. And John Bush sounds like he did 25 years
He does.
ago.
And he was up there just ripping it up.
Running around and acting crazy and still bringing it.
He was. Absolutely. So I felt very honored and very fortunate that I got to go see the show.
That's cool.
So anyway, so after the show was over,
okay,
the most Hollywood thing to do is to just go down the block to the Rainbow.
Right.
Now, Serena, she loves the classic metal and she loves the whole Hollywood thing and she loves the classic metal bands and whatnot. And so it just wouldn't be a capper to the night without going to the Rainbow.
Okay.
So we went to the Rainbow and we're walking up and they have security in the entranceway.
Right.
A couple big buff black guys sitting there checking you in.
Okay.
First thing the guy says to me, "Shit, dude, you look like Dog the Bounty Hunter." First thing out of his mouth. "Shit, that's Dog the Bounty Hunter."
And you were like, "Yep."
So I had that little meme that Nathan made.
All right.
I had the picture, right?
Yeah.
And I pulled it out. I said, "You're right about that." So I said, "Check this out." So I pulled up the picture on my phone and showed it. He goes, "Shit, you know how those black guys are. When they get something that tickles them, he starts rocking back and forth on his bars. Yeah, shit, dude. Oh, that's bad. Doing that whole rocking back and forth thing and holding his stomach like you never saw anything so funny." So he loved it. So he's giving me high fives and, giving me the, shaking hands. And that's badass. He goes, "You go right on in, dog. You go right on in."
Dog.
That's what he was calling me. "You go right in, dog." So we walked in and he says, then he looks at Serena and, she's a tiny little girl and he goes, "You don't look like whatever his wife's name is."
Yeah.
"You don't look like her. Are you with the dog here?"
With the dog.
"Are you with the dog?"
He was like, "Yeah."
It was really funny. So we went in and walked into the main area over there and, I walked in and, they kind of like, they looked at me and I said, "Yeah, can we get a booth or table or whatever?" Yeah, not a problem. We'll give you the best seat in the house."
Holy cow.
And they put us right in the middle center booth.
Wow.
Right in the middle of the room.
They really thought you were somebody.
They must have thought so.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so we went in there and we had a couple of rainbow burgers. Couple of burgers, man.
Yeah, man.
So we sat there and I told Serena, I said, "Listen, I'm driving. Everything's fine. You can have a drink." She goes, "Well, just order me a drink." So you know me, I'm a wine guy these days.
Sure.
So I ordered up some wine and we sat there and had a couple burgers and had some wine, and she was checking out all the memorabilia and all the rock and roll paraphernalia and whatnot.
Right.
And just sat there until they turned the lights up and said it was time to get out.
Right.
So that was a good evening there.
I'll bet. It sounds like it.
But that was Saturday night.
Right.
Thursday night obviously was the premiere.
Yeah.
And if you weren't aware of it, if you have Amazon Prime, the Inside Metal, the LA metal scene explodes. The first part is on Amazon Prime right now.
For pre-order, though. I went to buy it today. It's only on
No. You can watch it.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it. I watched it today.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
I was sleeping most of the day. I was going to buy it, and I will buy it anyway just to support Bob, but I didn't know you could watch it for free.
Yes, it's part of Amazon Prime, so I watched it today. It's about an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, so I watched it, even though I saw it at the debut and the premiere. I watched it. So we Serena and I went to this thing on Thursday.
Right.
Drove down to the place. Now this little theater thing is even though it has a Hollywood Boulevard address, it's actually almost a block off the boulevard.
Okay.
So even though I knew what area it was in, we're like walking down like, where the hell is this place? So we're walking around trying to find this place, looking at the addresses and everything. And it's like nothing even matches this address. So I'm calling Bob. I'm just like, where the hell is this theater?
Right.
Yeah, just walk down and go down to Ivar, and it's down there. You'll see people in line. And we're like walking around, like asking people, do you know where this place is? And nobody ever heard of it. And I was just like, what the hell? So we ended up walking 2 blocks in the wrong direction.
Oh, boy.
Looking for this place. Couldn't find it. Turn around, walk back. So then we walked down the side, way down, a block away from the Hollywood, even though it had a Hollywood Boulevard address.
Right.
It's like a block off the main drag there.
Oh, wow.
So I finally see some people hanging out. And, we walk down to the entranceway, and Bob is down there. I see you finally found it, fucky.
Very nice.
Yeah. Hail and Kill caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Hail and Kill, this is Serena. Hi.
This is Serena. Well, since she was a participant in this, I thought maybe she'd like to jump in on this.
All right.
Yeah, I missed the last couple minutes. I don't know what I missed, but yeah, I had a great time in L.A. That's for sure.
Well, you live there. You should have a great time all the time.
I know. I do work too much, but from now on, whenever I have the chance, I'll try to go more often.
Sure.
For sure.
So we walked down, down to the entranceway, and they have this whole, media thing set up down there where they have the backdrop, and they're interviewing people as they're walking in.
All right.
And I'm standing there just chit-chatting with Bob and whatnot, and who should come walking up behind?
Who? Stephen Piercy?
No, our good friend Nader.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so Nader comes walking in, and he's just like, Neeley! He comes running up, and we do the bro hug, and
right.
he goes, listen, I'm waiting for Krieger and, my other guys to come. I'll see you inside. So we went up and go inside this building, and this little narrow-ass stairway goes up inside this old building,
Okay.
So it's like, what is this place,
Right.
And so we walk up to the top of the stairway, and it's like this old, I don't even know what you want to call it. It's like a club setting, I guess, but it didn't have theater style seating in it. It had a bunch of couches and chairs and stuff. It was almost like a big living room.
No, well, that sounds actually cool.
Yeah, well, it was cool. I'm not saying that. It's just that it's misleading because you don't know what you're going into.
Right.
So this
It
whole
must look like a dance floor.
Yeah.
With a bar, and then they put some seating, in front of the screen. But
yeah. So they have rows of couches and chairs.
All right.
And most everybody is seated there, and then they have this big screen, where they're showing this thing.
Okay.
And we walk in, and the first guy I run into is Carlos Cavazzo.
All right.
And he walked, I walked up to him, and he looks at me. He goes, I know you, don't I? And I go, yeah. And I told him. He goes, yeah, that's right. We hung out when over in Rat, and this and that, and we were just shooting the shit. And he's just, it's good to see you. And he introduced me to his chick and to Serena and whatnot, And so then I walked in, and I ran into Mark Torian.
All right.
Or Mark Torine, actually.
Right.
And he says, hey, it's nice to see you, dude. We were just shooting the shit for a few minutes.
Okay.
So Mark was really friendly, just super friendly.
Sure.
Couldn't have been nicer. And then we walked in, and there's one bar open, just one.
Okay.
And people are just lined up trying to get a drink.
Right.
And Bob walks by and he goes, "This is fucking bullshit." He says, "We had to put a $3,500 deposit down on the bar service."
Oh, and then he's getting pissed because people can't get their drink.
Yeah, they can't get a drink because he has to make $3,500 and then he gets the money back.
Right. Okay.
So he's just like, "How am I supposed to do this? Nobody can get a drink and everybody's waiting in line and this is ridiculous." And
so how many bartenders were there?
Well, 1.5, because the one girl was trying to handle everybody, and then one guy kept, leaving the area. So there's one girl trying to serve everybody.
So the best he could do is about $5 every about 3 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. So he's just like, "This is bullshit. They got a second bar. They should have had it open. I don't know what's going on. Nobody can get a drink."
Right.
So, people are just lined up trying to get a drink to this place. And it's just like, oh, it's crazy.
Right.
So while I'm standing there, Bob comes back and I'm standing next to a guy. I didn't know who he was. And he goes, "Oh, hey, while you're standing here, let me introduce you to Mike Zinna."
Okay.
The guy who owns T Radio V.
Yeah, okay.
And I was just like, "Hey, I'm a fan of what you guys do. I think you guys got it going on. You do good work. I think it's interesting and whatnot." So we were kind of shooting the shit back and forth. And he's like, "Yeah, how long are you in town?" And I said, "Well, till Sunday." He says, "Well, if you want, you can come down. I'm going to be there tomorrow morning about 11. If you want to come down, I'll show you the place."
All right.
So we made plans, and so I made the trip down on Friday to go see it.
Okay, cool.
Well, Serena and I, we were just kind of like running into different people.
Sure.
And, last week I told you a little bit, I ran into, or met actually through Bob, concert promoter Gina Zamparelli.
Yeah.
And she's in this documentary. And
okay.
And so, it was just kind of a cool thing, just hanging out with different people and meeting different people and seeing the documentary. And, this thing was a little over 3-hour ordeal.
Wow.
Because they showed both,
Part 1 and 2.
Part 1 and 2, yeah.
Okay.
So after the thing was over, Bob's like, let's, of course, Toby was there too.
Right.
And so I hung out with him. So Bob's like, "Well, let's go get something to eat. I'm starving. I haven't eaten all day."
Okay.
So they knew of a place around the corner. It was like a 24-hour place, and it served breakfast and booze.
Perfect.
Well, one of the things about Hollywood, if you've never been there or haven't been there recently,
yeah,
it seems like after the sun goes down, all the gays come out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
It seemed like everybody that worked at this place was a gay dude.
Really?
Yeah. Very effeminate, very swishy, very...
Hi, sweetie. What would you like?
Well, it's just that they were very effeminate men.
According to our government, you shouldn't be casting aspersions.
I'm not. I'm just describing the scene.
They just seemed like ordinary Americans.
Not at all.
No, that's what ordinary Americans are now.
Not at all.
They are. That's what Obama tells us. They're all Peter Puffin faggots.
Right. Yes, I know that it is Southern California, but the thing is, it's just when you're surrounded by so many swishy men. It's
right.
And again, if you're gay, I could give two shits if you're gay.
Yeah.
But I understand what's disturbing about it for heterosexual males. It's very difficult to sit there as a very hetero guy,
right,
and see a very effeminate man sashaying around.
Hey, you certainly don't want him touching your food.
Well, you don't have a lot of choice aside from not eating.
Yeah, I know. It just sucks.
Yeah, so that's what I think that's what bothers a lot of people. It's just like, go be gay all you want, but do you have to go around and just be all swishy around me like a...
Let's just be honest. The image is that they don't wash the cum off their hands when they're done stroking another dude off, and that they're fucking. You get your eggs, and it has a little bit of like Alfredo or something on it. And you're like, oh, what is that? Right?
Well,
That's what you think.
Well, apparently Ron Jeremy doesn't wash his clothes either.
Oh, that was so horrible.
So don't just pin it on gay dudes.
That was just brutal.
Right. So anyway, we went there and had some breakfast and cutting up and just carrying on. And
right.
It was just funny. 3:00 in the morning, just hanging out in Hollywood with Bob and Toby and a couple other people and Serena.
And you were probably dying at this point because that's like 5 a.m. for you.
Yeah. Well, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
That's fun.
That meme that Kendall put in the chat room, that's exactly the scene right there.
Ugh. It's like, listen, faggot, give me a Bud Light, something manly.
Right. So, Serena, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I was just going to mainly say my vision from about the documentary. I think Bob did a great job. I'm a person that I wasn't, born at that time to enjoy the scene, but he really did a good job. It's a documentary, so it's very informative, and it focuses between 81 and 86. So there was a lot of the underground scene of LA, and like the difference between what he did and like the Western civilization. Because those middle years, that documentary was all like a cloud. It was more of a, they were on drugs. It was just what. But this is a documentary. Is like going. The people that live that area, they're talking 30 years later. So everybody seemed like really humble about it, and it's more factual versus the Western civilization, the things that happen. And it was really, he gathered a lot of artists talking about, how everything was, because there were bands playing everywhere, in backyards. It was just, wherever you would go, just in the LA area, just even in the more wider radius, there were all kinds of bands playing. And it seemed about it, it really, it was different. It was, nobody knew what new trend was coming. All the bands seemed very, open. I mean, everybody seemed very open to what these bands had to say, There was not really like a trend following thing. It was just like, let's check this band out, and, so it was a lot of cutting edge, eclectic, and, like new unpredictable thing, and it led to all of this before the glam after 86 hit. So I'm very thankful. He did a wonderful job, and I really had a great time. I enjoyed meeting Dina Samparelli. She seemed like a very sweet, and she did a lot for the metal bands. So yeah, it was a great documentary, and they have it now in Amazon. The first part is already, if you are interested, I encourage anybody who is in the metal world to get it. And the second part will be available in August 12th, I believe. So it's a part of history. Either you like metal or this kind of metal exactly, anything, related to rock. I mean, it's a really piece of history. And thanks to Bob Nalbandian, it got gathered and very well explained.
I think Bob should hire you to do the PR, Serena, the way that you just rambled on about that.
Neeley, could you not interrupt her? And Serena, can you keep going? I'm almost there.
Don't start, Chris. No, but he really did. Anybody who is a metal fan, anybody appreciates this.
Right.
It's all, I enjoy listening to Don and Steven and Ron, because they're part of the CMS, like almost like family. And then you have these other, even Lars Ulrich. He sounded humble, he sounded intellectual and like approachable. So, that was pretty cool. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. And it's always, I have already pre-ordered my, so whenever it comes, I have a piece of history. And whenever I want to, love to watch it. I have it. And as a European that lived abroad and didn't have no clue about what's going on in the streets of LA, it's a piece of history, and I love it.
Well, Serena, what was your most favorite part of the whole weekend?
Your cock.
You know, my favorite part of the whole weekend is that everything that I like, the most favorite things, I have to do them. Everything. The music, the eating, the fun, everything. And I would sign up a contract right now to have a weekend like that every single weekend. And I could die in peace. And I won't say anything else.
Wow.
I can only control what I say. I cannot control what Neeley says. I'm, owner of my own domain only. And I leave it like that.
Well, you enjoyed that whiskey show, right?
Oh, yes, I did. I really, when, you told me that it was sold out, and it's like, there's no way. I mean, there has to be a way to get in there. I'm going through the back door. I'm going to that VIP room. Somebody can open the door. Even if I get there for a few minutes, I really have become a fan of Metal Church and Armor Saints, thanks to you, in the Classic Metal Show, and I love those guys. My house sounded, I always think, and I tell you, he has like, his voice sounds possessed. He has the best voice for that band. He did great in Armor Saints, Look, those two are classic metal sounding bands, but for some reason, even they're playing live in 2016, they sound fresh. It doesn't sound dated at all. I mean, and I love it.
Well, Serena, since you got to meet a bunch of rock stars, while you were at the Inside Metal, who were your top, let's say your top 5 that you got to meet, and why was it important to you to meet all 5 of them?
Let's see, who did I meet? Introduced, I saw a lot of them. I saw Nader. I was introduced to Carlos Cavazo, also Mark Torian. Who else did I? I was introduced to that man that works with Bob Nalbandian, the man that lives in Texas. I cannot remember his name, but he's somebody who...
John Stranansky.
Like a nice
John?
Yeah, like a journalist, right? Yeah, John. I don't know, well, Neeley was there, but I was already coming with him. Gina Samparelli, really, I don't know, I just love that girl. She's so sweet and humble. After all that success, that girl still remains sweet. And
sure.
She still looks the same.
Now, what was special about meeting Carlos Cavazo?
No, it's because it was the first, as I walk in, Neeley introduced me to, that was just, because I never met him before, but, I don't have, some people, when they meet famous people, or, they really like, wow, they just cannot, But it's nice, the most important thing when I meet somebody who's been known, I like to find out that they're kind of humble. That's the main thing, They can tell me, well, they can give me 2 choices. Well, you can meet Nikki Sixx, which I know how he is, or you can meet this other guy that is not so known, but like a Jeff Scott. Do you want to meet Nikki Sixx, or do you want to meet Jeff Scott? I'll say Jeff Scott, because I love his music, and I know Nikki Sixx, what it's all about, I don't care about him. So,
now, after you met Mark Torian, did you go back and listen to any Bullet Boys records?
No, I listened to, no, I didn't go find anything. I just listened to Hair Nation, and, Bullet Boys plays every so often.
Sure.
But no, I didn't, I know Bullet Boys music, so, yeah.
Right. Well, you know what, Serena, since I got you on the phone, Neeley was talking earlier about how you have a horse. What kind of horse do you have, and how long have you been raising it?
How? You're talking about my horse, right?
Yeah, your horse.
Isn't that like a trick question? Yeah, he's a quarter horse, and he's a buckskin, and he's a gelding.
Have you had him from when he was born, or did you buy him used or what?
When he was older, I had him for the last couple of years, since 2014.
Okay. All right. And now what is it about horses that you like so much? I mean, do you like, are you just attracted to the animal versus like, say, a dog or something? Because there's a lot more responsibility in having a horse than, say, a dog.
This is an interview to me now?
Yes, absolutely. The fans want to know. They were saying in the chat room how much they like hearing about you.
This is the thing. I always, I love animals. Where the part where I'm from, people that have horses is more of a prissy thing, English style, jumping and something. If you have a horse, means you have money. You want to flaunt it. I'm never like that side of the thing, But here in California, riding horses kind of some areas like Norco. So, I started like a few years ago riding, with a guide. And once I just had that experience with the horse, it's just like, wow, this is great. Because when you ride a horse, pretty much you should leave your cell phones away and everything. It's like you and nature and an animal. And I deal with people every day at work, too many women, too much gossip. Right. So when you are in nature without all the bullshit, it's like therapeutic almost when you're with an animal, and it's you have to have respect for such a big animal. If you are behind him and he kicks you, you're dead.
Right.
But you build a relationship. You help him, you groom him, and it's a beautiful thing.
Do you consider your horse? Do you consider your horse to be kind of like your child?
No, not that. More like a friend.
Like a friend, I hear you.
I always call her my 1,000-pound friend. No, not like I take care of him. He depends on me, but it's more like a friend. You go there, visit him. He acknowledges you. It's a beautiful thing.
Right, certainly. Now, do you have aspirations to have other horses? As you get a little later in life, or what?
Well, he won't live forever. I'm sure that quarter horses live up to like 35, some of them, but sometimes in the last years of their life, they cannot be ridden. So, I consider maybe that's when you say you retire a horse and you just feed him, just like it's a big dog, he's your friend for so long, you're just not going to turn him down, and you might have a second one just to start riding him,
Right.
But, my vet says that he looks pretty good and that I did a good job. He looks solid for his age.
Right. Now, when a horse dies, do you bury it or do you cremate it?
No, I guess they come and get his body. I think he gets cremated. Yeah, you don't bury him.
You don't have to find.
Some people might. If you have the land for it, you do, but.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, they just take the body. I've seen horses died at my boarding place, and then they take the body, yeah.
Right, Sure. Would you let your horse be used for dog food?
Uh-huh.
Is that a no? If your horse died, would you let them use it for dog food?
No, because the dogs don't, there's no, right now with all the research that they made, usually what's in dog's food is chicken or lamb.
Right.
I know that people in France eat horses, people, but am I sounding crazy with my answers, or am I sounding okay? Because the questions are a little off of the normal, so I'm thinking...
Well, the fans said in the chat room they wanted to hear a lot more about you, so I figured I would ask some questions.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's fine, no problem.
All right. Well, to wrap this up, this weekend away in L.A., we went to Mike Zinna's T Radio V studio, right. And he showed us around, and he's all self-financed, just like the Classic Metal Show, and he buys a lot of his equipment from the same place that I do, and we were just talking about equipment, but he's got a very cool setup at T Radio V. If you haven't checked it out, Bob's Inside Metal Show is hosted on T Radio V. Of course, Bob can't do it right now because he's currently working on the next edition of Inside Metal,
Right.
the thrash metal years, which both Chris and I will be a part of.
Sweet.
And he showed us around the studio, and it's very cool. He's got a lot of money wrapped up in that thing, and he's got a lot of great shows on there. So you need to go over there and check it out at tradiov.com. That's TRadioV, as in victory.com. And go check that out. But Serena and I went over and checked out his studio, and he invited you and I, Chris, to go and do a show if we would like to do something with him.
I think we might, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's have to figure it all out. Is that just in L.A. or is that from here?
Well, he just said, just pitch him an idea.
Okay.
But he said, if we're in L.A., feel free to come in and use the studio and knock something out if we want to, because he's got a lot of professional gear there, and he's got green screen room, and he's got the interview room, and he's got all the cameras and microphones and mixing boards and all that kind of stuff. It's a very cool setup.
Very cool, man. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, so it was very cool, and I was glad Mike invited us down to check it out, and we just sat and talked about the business and trying to do something independently, much like we do, you and I do.
Sure.
And he has the same attitude and the same viewpoint about it. And Serena got to check out the studio. What'd you think of the T-Radio V studio, Serena?
Very cool. Very cool. As you walk in, it's a nice building and has all the different rooms. Very professional, yeah. I don't know anything about equipment, but I know and when you saw it, obviously you recognized the same stuff, and you guys were talking. You guys knew what you were talking about, and I liked it. He had different areas, like a waiting area. Very, very nice, very nice. And I've seen a lot of the.
And there goes Serena. And I didn't hang up on her. Her phone must have died or something.
Chatroom just put up a standing ovation, I think.
But anyway, overall, that pretty much sums up the whole LA weekend.
All right. That sounds good, man. Sounds fun.
Yeah. So when the thrash metal segment comes out next year,
yes,
you will have to make the trip.
I will make the trip. I'll start saving my nickels now.
Right. All right, since that kind of wraps up the L.A. weekend. Oh, there's Serena. What happened?
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I don't know what was the last thing you heard from me. I was talking about the different rooms. You hear that? That it was very professional setting, and that you guys knew about the equipment, and that as an Inside Metal fan, I've checked out several episodes of Inside Metal, and it was nice to be there, where, Bob Nalbandian used to do still does, but he's in Sacramento now. So, yeah, it was a very nice setup, and he had the patience to Mike to explain everything, and it was really nice to visit that studio, yeah, definitely. So you, Chris, you need to be here for when the San Francisco metal scene, of the thrash metal scene comes out, and you guys should, do something,
Do you have any slutty hot sisters?
No, I only have a brother, damn it. No. You're something else. Well, I'm sure you'll find someone. You don't seem to be too picky, so you'll find somebody in the streets of L.A.
Yeah, I'm definitely not picky.
Well, yeah, you'll find someone.
Sure.
Yeah.
Not looking.
All right, Serena, anything else?
No, I had a great time, and yeah, it seems like you, Neeley, went, explained everything very well, and yeah, I had a great time, and looking forward to doing it all over again sometime.
All right, Serena. Well, it was a fun weekend, and we'll do something when Bob has another preview again.
I'm all for it.
Excellent. All right, Serena.
Okay. Bye, Hail and Kill.
There goes Serena.
Bye, sweetheart.
As you can tell, she was very into the weekend.
I guess so. Wow.
She was very into the weekend. Loved it.
That's good.
It was like living a dream.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, that was my excursion over last weekend, and I think we should just take a short break here.
Yeah, I need a beer.
And we'll come back, and we'll talk a little bit about last weekend's show.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
Sounds good to me.
So if you're listening to the Classic Metal Show live, we are live in the chat room. If you're listening via the Spreaker, we do have a live chat room over at chatandkill.com. Chatandkill.com. Just log in there and be a part of the show.
Yep.
All right. Well, since I saw Metal Church last week, I thought I'd play a song that they played last week live, which just totally kicked ass.
All right.
So I thought I'd play A Date with Poverty.
Good song.
Mike Howe just kicked it on this show, on this song. So here it is. It's Metal Church exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.